Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Shocking realizations Americans have after living in Europe.
Back in the States, eating while walking, driving, or even working was normal. Fast food is designed for convenience, and meals are often seen as fuel rather than an event. As an American who lives in Spain, calm down, Europeans. Last I checked, Spain is
fuel
in Europe.
as
No, I will
opposed to an event. That's interesting. I feel like that's not necessarily true.
Wait, what?
That they see it rather as fuel, but but not as an event.
Cool, Europeans?
Yeah,
No, they love food.
but what about Americans?
Love food too.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I
I
think
think
both
everyone loves
both
food.
continents love food. Yeah,
Yeah,
like sure, certain people see that
yeah.
fuels. Good for them. They fucking skinny as fuck. I
No,
wish.
it's not true. Cause my dad feels that way. He's not skinny. He's like, I like just the smell of peanut butter. Explain the stomach, sir.
No, like I mean, some people really like are like that. They
Yeah,
just see. Good for them. You know,
yeah.
I cool. I wish I could do like that too.
Just as
But
fuel.
yeah, but I can't. I love food.
not change the
Mm.
video title. The American dream is built on the idea that hard work and determination lead to success, regardless of your background. It promotes individualism, ambition, and upward mobility. These values clash with the experiences that Americans have when they're abroad. In Spain and in much of Europe, food is meant to be savored and mealtimes they're social. Even a quick coffee is usually enjoyed sitting down. I cannot tell you how many Starbies I bought exclusively through the drive-through when I lived back in the States. For years, my breakfast routine was the start of my commute, and then I'd kindly
Mm.
eat my sandwich and drink my coffee while I was sitting in traffic. It was a morning designed for a very
Yeah.
long day to come. Here,
Yeah,
lunch
that's a lot. That's for a lot of people, especially if they're in working 9 to 5, having to go to work because your schedule doesn't really allow for you to like just take those breaks and pauses to enjoy things in one moment. You kind of have to multitask. That's like a issue that we have here in the States.
How about wake up earlier? How about that?
True, but then again, that's work. People are exhausted from
I
work.
don't. Okay, my mother woke up at 6 in the morning. She ate at home. Yeah, she didn't eat in traffic, but she worked nine to.
She's a
She
different
didn't
animal.
work 9 to 5. She worked 8 through 6, 8 through 7.
Yeah.
So, and that's in Europe. So I don't know what you're trying to tell. Like,
Mm. But she gave up a lot of things too. It wasn't so easy.
who, my mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Like, it's not like just the fact that you eat in the car, drive. That's your choice.
Mm.
If
True, it is a
well, you don't
choice.
have a time. Well, wake up earlier. You don't
Yeah.
have. Don't wake if your job is at 9 and you have to commute for 30 minutes. Don't wake up at 8.
Because that drive through does take up time to
Like,
wait in the drive
wake
through
up
to get
at
food.
6. Come
Mm-hmm.
on.
La comida is typically the biggest meal of the day, often lasting between 1 and 2 hours. Even in work settings, employees take their full lunch break instead of eating at their desks, even though that does seem to be changing, and that's due to the Americanification of the world. For whatever reason, some Americans think Europeans don't have fast food or that they never eat quickly. While fast food does exist here, it's not the default, and grabbing something to eat on the go is often associated with tourists. The American exceptionalist mindset makes people feel guilty for resting, for recharging during their workday. In Spain, people prioritize rest and personal time. You can leave your work without feeling like you have to prove you've been
You
productive all day.
know, honestly, how these things do not process for me is because I feel like in the Caribbean, they also prioritize rest and not hustle, bustle, like enjoying things, like taking it easy, that kind of like that lifestyle, that relaxed lifestyle. Not there's nothing urgent going
I
on.
mean, I guess that makes sense because to me, why this doesn't resonate with me because to me, what I felt, how I was in Europe is the same way that Americans are here. So I'm like,
Um,
I'm not capturing this either. So
Because remember when you met me, you thought it was odd, like, oh, I eat with my family, like for breakfast time, or we have a meal together, because that was a common thing to do.
yeah.
Day. That's unless you work for a company that's based out of the US. In that case, all the US rules apply. Americans tend to glorify long hours, side hustles, and grinding as a measure of dedication. If you're not constantly striving, you're seen as lazy or unmotivated. Meanwhile, many Europeans believe that working fewer hours leads to a better quality of life and increased productivity. There are even laws that limit how many hours you can work. Let's not assume that working hard is a measure of productivity, rather, measure productivity in actual results. Taking time off isn't laziness, it's essential for doing good work, essential for reviving you so that you can do good work. Europeans aren't lazy because they take longer vacations or they have shorter work weeks. From what I've experienced through the comments, many Europeans think that Spaniards, Italians, and Greeks are the lazy ones. Now, if that is you, maybe you need to relax a little. It's probably also you who's complaining about the video title, Shocking Realizations Americans Have After Living in Europe. I say Europe like you say Africa. I said what I said. In reality, these people work hard.
That's funny.
Why? I don't get it.
Because when people say Africa, it's like as if there's Africa is just one country and not like different countries. So the way she's saying Europe, she's like Europe as a whole.
I mean, yeah, she's talking about the continent of Europe. I mean, I don't get it.
She said what she said. If
They
you didn't get it,
just
you
don't
didn't get
tie
it.
their
I
entire
didn't get it.
identity to their work. In the US, the customer is always right. And
That's why, you know, these videos, I wish it wouldn't be Europe, it would be a country, because what she's describing in Spain, it's definitely not the same in Eastern Europe. Like, it doesn't, nothing applies.
and fast, efficient service is expected. In Spain, service is more about being practical and fair rather than bending over backwards. You might have to wait a little longer, and there's no fake friendliness. Oh, and Karens would be publicly shamed for their behavior. Many restaurant servers in Spain don't rely solely on tips, so they won't check on you constantly.
Oh, I wonder. Okay, like how would a Karen exist in
It
Europe?
it doesn't exist.
Really?
Oh, that's American.
Like, okay, so
People are not as entitled.
you're telling me that a customer in Europe
In
will
Europe,
not,
customer is not always right. That's an
but they
American
will
thing.
speak up. They can speak up, no? Like they have space to speak up. Like I feel like if
I
something
mean,
was like
well,
not
yeah, to speak
good,
up, but they tell you no, and that's it.
then what's the point of speaking up?
And you can, I don't know.
Try.
You can try, but if it's a no, it's a no. The thing is with Karens, sometimes they want the rules to be bent to their ways.
Or something free.
Well, that's kind of, yeah, partially, like, I mean by bent to the, like, if the return policy, let's say it's 30 days, you brought it to 31 days later. And here in the States, it's, you know, you want that one day, like, what is that one day, blah blah blah. You probably gonna annoy someone enough where, okay, it's gonna be public embarrassment, they just let you take it. In Europe, no, 30 days. Oh, it's 30 days. It's 31 days. You don't have calendar.
Or they won't rush you to clear your plate so that they can turn the table over for the next person. This isn't bad service. It's just a different approach. It allows you to have a good conversation.
You know, and the thing is this is like, I don't know, fifth, sixth video we're doing like this. Everybody says the same exact comments. Is this like a template online and everybody just reads the same thing?
I mean, experiences, how, you know.
I just refuse to
How
believe that
different can they be?
everyone's experience is the same. Like,
I feel like, you know, if they were extroverts in the US, they're gonna be extroverts in Europe, so their hobbies gonna be the same and they can really see the difference between the
no,
two.
not that, but like she's saying, here in the States, they rush you off the table. I have never in my life had me rushed off the table at a
But we don't go
restaurant.
out that much.
Hmm?
We don't go out
No,
that
I'm
much.
okay, I'm not saying we go out a lot, but whenever I have never, there has not been a time where someone rushed me off the table. So, where they rush you out?
Maybe because Miami is just different.
Maybe.
Because I feel like Miami is also like Caribbean lifestyle too.
I don't know.
Conversation during your meal. You can relax, maybe digest a little bit. Some may think European customer service is rude or unhelpful, but it's actually less performative. Employees aren't obliged to act cheerful if they don't feel like it. Here, employees are treated with respect and service isn't rushed. It's a cultural norm that values the well-being of workers. In the US, jobs often define people's identities. In Spain, work is just a part of life, not the center of it. People value free time and social life and family more than climbing the career ladder. Some Spanish offices still have siesta break, especially in smaller towns. While it doesn't always mean taking a nap, it does mean businesses close for a few hours in the afternoon, something that would probably feel absolutely
I wonder how
unimaginable.
that changes up the work schedule. Like, do you stay at work longer to make up for that, or it's just a short work week? Like, what's the hours then for the work week?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess it would depend. Maybe somebody might open like from 9 to 1 and then reopen from 3 to 7. Something like that, you know.
to Americans. You can be anything if you work hard enough. This is the foundation of the American dream. Anyone, no
I guess
matter
so,
where they
because
start, can
at dinner time, people often have it late.
Yeah.
climb the social and economic ladder through determination and grit. Many European societies value job security, strong labor protections, and a social safety net. Instead of glorifying rags to riches stories, European cultures often emphasize cradle to grave security. In Spain, working class jobs aren't looked down upon. You don't need to escape them to be considered successful. This doesn't mean that Europeans lack ambition. It's just that many prefer quality of life over endless economic striving. In reality, success is just defined differently. It's not about overworking yourself, but about having a balanced life. I mean,
Live from Radio City Music Hall, it's the SNL 50 Homecoming Concert featuring
in the States, eating well and staying healthy can be expensive and time consuming. Here, fresh, high quality food is affordable and accessible, and walking is a natural part of daily life. Food here isn't about restriction, rather, it's about quality over quantity with fresh, local ingredients. But the portions here in Asturias, they're just way too huge. And you really need self control. Prescription medications here are way cheaper than in the US. Something that costs hundreds of dollars in America might just be 5 to 10 euros here. My monthly prescriptions in the US used to cost me about $70. Here, I'm paying about
Why does everybody have prescriptions? Also, in every video we do drugs cost. I don't remember last time I bought a drug.
Yeah, to get a prescription, I need this.
No, prescription drug. I've never had a prescription drug here in the States. In what, 15 years I've been here almost. Never had a prescription drug. A regular drug like Tylenol, like you buy one at Costco, lasts you 3 years. So probably bought one like 2-3 years ago. Like
I think it's like just a little bit of the dependency of it. I think people are used to, if they have an issue, they're relying on the prescription drugs. Whereas, you know, for you, you're healthy, you eat healthy, you work out, you're active.
about 25 euro for the very same thing. In the US, people
like no, I get the drugs are cheaper. I'm not debating that. That's a fact. It's just
Dependency on it.
everybody
reliance.
seems like everybody has
Yeah.
needs
Yeah,
the
that's quite
prescriptions.
odd.
It's why?
expect to pay for their own health care, whether through insurance, employer benefits, or personal funds. The idea of free healthcare is often met with skepticism in most European countries. Healthcare is universal and publicly funded. The focus is on preventative care and accessibility rather than for profit. You don't go bankrupt over medical bills. Government run healthcare doesn't mean long waits and poor quality. Actually, wait times here are similar to, or better than in the US without the financial stress. In the States, I used to
I
value
would think it should be better in the sense that people shouldn't be as sick to have to be at the hospital or needing a doctor's care.
Well, that's not what we've seen in other countries.
Yeah,
They
but I
said
don't
in
understand why.
public healthcare, it's just the wait times are super long.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you have access to care, it should.
Just because you have access doesn't mean you go.
So you're saying that most people who go end up when they really, really need it, not
You
doing
go when you
checkups.
you go when you really need it. You
Oh,
don't.
I thought they did like checkups because I know for a fact that they're very strict on for cars having inspections, um, more often than here in the States. I don't think here in the States they even require give you a penalty for
Yeah.
that. So I would think that okay, if you require inspections or checkups, then most likely in the long run, at the end, you won't be as sick.
No, yeah, but I don't think people go like pedantically. I think people are more hypochondriac here in the States than in the Europe. I think in Europe is more chill about that.
Because here, ideally, the schedule is to go every 6 months and do a year checkup.
Yeah, but that's again pushed by the insurance company so they make money. So I think, yeah, I don't think people go like that
But
often.
in the long run, this to also see to make sure you.
I mean, I'm not saying
it's a
I'm not
benefit
saying
to
it's
go every 6
bad.
months
I just
to a year.
I don't necessarily think it's needed to go like to a doctor every 6 months. Like what? God damn, people before doctors lived
Well, because
fucking 80 years
no,
now.
no, because science is improving. There's
I
information.
get it, but every
The
6 months,
issue,
what they
no,
gonna find?
every 6 months to a year. But I think that the issue lies on the point that sometimes the doctor can say things that you don't necessarily need for them to get paid. This is where the issue is. There's nothing wrong going to the doctor every 6 months to a year.
No, there is nothing wrong with that. You can go every month if you want to. That's your
No, that's too much.
no, that's your prerogative. Do whatever you want to do. If you have the money, go to every month. If you have time and money, whatever, it's your right. I'm saying there's no need. what's gonna develop in a year that you need a
No, it's tracking. So you collect data over a year. So if there's an issue
Mhm.
arrive, you can check, okay, what happened in the last 6 months or to a year. Like, for
Values.
example, for teeth, they do the checkup for every 6 months to a year to make sure everything is in order. If not, a little maybe minor cleaning and that's it.
Speed, fast food,
Because
fast
when if
service,
you have an
fast
issue
internet,
in the teeth, it's very scary to have because then you may have other problems, underlying issues, and also your eyes.
fast cars. In Spain, things move more slowly, but that doesn't mean they're inefficient. Bureaucracy does take forever. Oh my goodness. The bureaucracy in Asturias is actually unreal. But meals, conversations, even daily life are designed to be enjoyed, not rushed. Many businesses in Spain don't open until 10 a.m. and may close for several hours in the afternoon. And while this can feel inconvenient at first, it's because work life balance is built into the culture. I love the community here on YouTube because I learned so much from the comments you guys leave. Apparently, this break in the day comes from a time when the patriarch would have two jobs. This break would allow them the opportunity for rest and then family meals together.
The
Here,
only thing that I don't like per se is what we learned in Europe, where when you are moving in and you have to set up the light, the water, and get like a refrigerator, get the oven,
oh,
it's
that
like
the
such a
apartments are there.
headache. It's such a
Mm.
headache.
I mean, I'm sure you can find furnished apartments. I don't think it's just not as
I just
common.
never heard that you cannot have a refrigerator or an oven.
Yeah, having to buy an appliance for a place you're
Huh?
gonna rent is a little awkward.
plazas and parks and pedestrian areas aren't just afterthoughts. They're central to life. Spain has walkable streets and gathering spaces that don't require a purchase. In many Spanish cities, children can play outside unsupervised, and it's normal to see families sitting in a plaza until late at night. The sense of community and safety is much stronger here. Americans often think walkability is just a big city thing, but even small Spanish towns have designated pedestrian areas where people can gather without cars. After moving abroad, you'll experience a shift in perspective. At first, there's a sense of relief. The stress of US's work culture, healthcare system, and cost of living, they become more obvious from a
I can't
distance.
wait to
But
experience that. I would love to feel like what it's like, okay, to have like a day in Europe, what I do, how I feel, and how that translates in the long run.
But it's different, a day in Europe and as a life and a tourist versus living there. As a tourist, it's kind of like go 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 because you have places to see, and living there and also living there is dealing with bureaucracy, like the healthcare. You have to live there to experience all those
Mm-hmm.
things.
over time, the relationship with the US becomes more complex. It becomes a mix of nostalgia, frustration, and clarity. I felt a deeper appreciation for certain aspects of American culture after moving
There's some
away.
things I
Things
will miss from the States.
like the entrepreneurial spirit and the cultural diversity. For a moment, I was becoming disillusioned. It's frustrating realizing things I once accepted as normal are actually unnecessary struggles. Things like expensive healthcare or a lack of a work life balance. Right now, I feel a bit in limbo. I feel disconnected from the US, but not fully at home here. I'm struggling to relate to friends back home, and I'm struggling to relate to friends here as well. I miss the US more than
Wow, that's
I
so
expected. It's
interesting.
the cultural ease of being around other Americans, the sense that anything is possible. The US has a unique way of making even the wildest dreams feel achievable. But living here has made politics feel less abstract. It allows me to see how other systems work. It makes me ask why healthcare is so expensive back home. Why do Americans get so little paid time off? Why does the US feel so unsafe compared to here? Life doesn't have to be a constant race to the next task or achievement. Slowing down doesn't mean falling behind. It means
I feel
making
like
space for
if I was to live in Europe, I would be walking everywhere.
Why can't you work here?
Um, I could, but the time, because I have a schedule for the work-life balance, I would have to be able to like, I don't know, I
Okay,
wouldn't be
but
able to fit that in.
you would work in Europe too. The schedule would be the
Yeah,
same.
but the difference would be I would feel like the community would be smaller, so everything is relatively in its like a race, a pretty close radius.
I just don't see how it would be any different than it is here. Like if you choose to walk, you can go ahead and walk. It's like, what are you saying? You would walk to a grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and who would carry the groceries?
I'll have my basket and
Hmm,
you push it.
I wouldn't walk with you.
Why not? We do
No,
things
just
together.
I mean, I if you go to a grocery store like every 2 days, it's just little stuff to get. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's what I would do. The refrigerators there not that big. I've seen the refrigerators.
I wouldn't want to go to the grocery store every 2 days.
I would.
Nah,
That would be exciting.
you spend a lot of extra money that you don't need. Because you
So
start
how
buying
do
like a
but
snack.
there's not like a wholesale like shopping, like they don't have like Costco to buy things in bulk. You would have to go
No,
every
but
2 days.
they have like a big stores where you can just buy food like once a week.
You can?
Yes.
Mm.
I mean, they're not in bulk, but they're like, they're more like Walmart. So you will
Mm.
go shop at those. Like shopping every day. Like, I don't know what you would
Not
go.
every day, every 2 days.
What would you shop every 2 days?
Get my produce, my food, my vegetables.
I guess if you want to get vegetables every 2 days,
Yeah.
but vegetables
Because
last longer than 2 days. You don't need to get them every two
but then the
days.
kitchens, from what I've seen, the kitchens in Europe, they're small. So I'm thinking to store these things, you don't have to buy up a lot of stuff. Only if you're doing a party, okay, but like, or you eat out. I don't know.
I don't know. Right now we shop what, twice a week? I think that's how often we would shop in Europe too, twice a week. Like maybe like uh Tuesday, Wednesday, and like on a weekend, something like that.
Tuesday, it would be Tuesday,
I just don't think
Friday, and a Sunday.
on Sunday and Europe is closed, so
Oh.
not all, of course.
Action, well-being, and a richer quality of life. Prioritizing rest can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. Not everything needs to be optimized. Sometimes the best experiences come from
That's where we disagree. I think everything needs to be optimized.
embracing the moment rather than
I think if I
rushing
was in
through it.
Europe, I would be at the beach more often.
If where you at has a beach, not the whole Europe has a beach.
I'm in Crete. When you say Europe, where are you?
Oh, okay.
Where are you?
Okay.
Living here has allowed
Well, if you're in Crete, Crete might not have a big Walmart type of store, so then you might
Yeah,
have to
I
shop.
so I accepted that. It's
me
okay.
to see the flaws and strengths of the US more clearly. The American dream is deeply ingrained in US culture, but living in Europe often challenges these beliefs. The work hard, get rich narrative isn't the only way to build a fulfilling life. Now, watch this because Papa YouTube says so. Okies.
That's just funny.
So the last part of the video, the last like 2 minutes or so, that definitely was her own, because it's the first time we see someone just sit there and like reflect on how they, like both ways,
Yeah.
usually it's just like
It's
whatever this
it's
bullet points and
so interesting that she's like in the middle, like she doesn't identify with the people in the States and not where she's
I
at right
think
now.
that's very reasonable. That's natural
Mhm.
progression. You kind of feel homesick a little bit because it's hard to identify. But I understand. I went through something similar. It's
You
obviously,
did.
yeah, obviously the other way around, but the cultural difference is there.
Mm.
People around her in Spain don't understand how she feels, and people at home also don't understand how she feels because the struggles are different. So,
I feel like I understand you.
well, now I've been here for so long. Now I have assimilated, so I don't have a problem. But uh,
Except
initially,
when you see what you call that a kebab.
nah, I'm good without a kebab. Yeah, I would want it, but it's not. I'm not dying over it.
Okay, guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.